Hey, it's your girl back again. So this video is going to be a follow-up to the video that I posted before. It was part one. If you haven't seen it, go see it. It was just me putting together the sample for my Everlywell and Viome tests. So I finally got my results back. So full disclosure, I literally filmed the first part to that video almost exactly a year ago today. But since then, there's been some developments. But first, let's dive into the results and then we'll get into that. Alrighty, I have my laptop here in front of me so I can look at the results and see them for both Viome and Everlywell. So if I'm looking down, that's what's happening. I'll also put them up on the screen just so you guys can see and read and follow along with what I'm seeing. But I'm going to start with Viome because that was one of the most complicated, I would say, of the results. I peeped these before, just like kind of looked through it and scrolled through it. So Viome specifically, the results are broken out into 6 major sections with 2 food and supplement recommendations with it. And with each section, there's other scores that like make up the total score, but I'm not going to go into all of them because nobody has the time for that, and instead I'll just highlight some of the scores that caught my eye. So there's 3 ranges that your scores can be in: good, average, and non-optimal. Good is green, average is purple, red is a non-optimal, so whatever you see, there's going to be a lot of red there. It's all fun and games. Okay, so diving into it, starting with my worst score, a whopping 31 for cellular health, which is led by a 28 for immune system activation. Honestly, like thinking back on this now, that I took that first sample in 2020 or 2021, and it's 2022 right now. As of right now, that's not wood. I have not gotten COVID. I have not tested positive for COVID, so I don't know how my immune system can be so weak, especially in New York City, but that's besides the point. Anyways, my mitochondria, or the powerhouse of the cell, where they're not working or looking too hot at a 36, which, if I'm understanding correctly, means that my cells are not receiving enough energy to function properly, leading to accelerated aging, poor metabolism, cardiovascular, and brain health. Great. I mean, and one of the upsides of Viome as well, and what their like value prop is that they do all these tests for you, and then they also send you, once they do all these tests for you, they send you results, and then on your results they have a list of all the supplements and foods and things that you can do to help in these specific areas. I did not do any of that, but this is the very long list that they have. You can have them send it to you like on a rotating basis and have all these supplements going. I cannot even swallow pills. I mean, I can, but it's just like so hard for me to swallow pills. So I just am taking it slow, just kind of grasping this information, and we'll go from there. But my gut microbiome health is at a 44. My main issues are inflammatory, protein fermentation, and gas production. I can confirm that gas production is a problem. But my microbiome diversity and metabolic fitness, which is basically how efficient your metabolism works, are both average. So my metabolic fitness is in the low average and really close to not optimal, but oh well. I think that's one of the issues with these tests. So like they have on the test website, understanding your Viome scores. So what I'm reading here basically is that like they recommend that you get 2 kits. You get a first kit. You get the first kit, you get a baseline, you get the test results back, you get their recommendations, you apply their recommendations, and then you get a second kit, and like you'll feel better or your scores will be better in the second kit, and that's basically what they recommend. As I mentioned before, there's been development since I took this test, so we'll get there in a little bit, but I definitely will not be doing that just because I don't really know how to action these results, and I don't want to take 60 supplements a day. So I think it's just a good idea. It's just like a red flag, like, oh, this is something that is happening in your body, like just as a heads up. But the best thing here on my results is that my biological age is 12, which is insane. Some people have told me I look 12. Not today though, because you can see those bags. Hi, Atticus. What's up, buddy? I'm filming. Oh my god, this underbite is insane. I'm definitely gonna do a complete non sequitur, but I'm house sitting right now, so I'm not in my apartment. And but I have been in New York for a little while, and I'll be posting a house tour soon. And then when I house sit, and then I also started doing Rover. So I've been house sitting through Rover as well, and that's been fun. So that's why I'm in Atticus's house, watching him as he just chews everything around here, and he like shoves his face in my face. Okay, Atticus, I gotta film. You're so hairy. Come on. So yes, back to it. So yeah, my biological age is 12. It says that your biological age assesses the efficiency of your cellular activities and your gut microbial activities in order to determine how well you are aging in comparison with your chronological age. So at the time I took this test, I was 23. I'm currently 24, but still 12 or 13 feels like a good number. I'm glad to see it, but I guess I'm also a little bit confused because so many of my other scores were like poor or not optimal. So I hope no child is going through anything that I'm going through right now, and I don't know if it would be an opposite, like if they were 12 would their biological age be 23. Like, I don't know how that works, but still good to hear, still a vote of confidence for my body. But overall, what I've gathered from this test is that my body is not really operating at its most optimal, which is unsurprising because I'm in good health, but it could definitely be better. Like I'm not in the hospital every day, popping pills every day, anything like that, but like I can definitely be in better health. The listing of supplements and probiotics and prebiotics that they prescribed can definitely help getting those things up, but my mom, it's the Nigerian in me and my mom has always instilled it in me where you don't want to take something every day because then your body gets hooked on it and you want your body to be able to make these things naturally. Doesn't mean you shouldn't start, doesn't mean you shouldn't try, doesn't mean you shouldn't take it like once a week or something like that, but just like I subscribe to that mindset and would like to like kind of keep that going. Let's dive into the Everlywell results, which are a little bit more impactful in the sense that like they tell me exactly what foods I'm reactive to. So we'll see from there. Yeah, these results are much more straightforward. It just says like high, medium, mild reactivity. You guys probably see it on the screen. But as a reminder, this was a test of 108 different types of foods and how like my body reacts to them. So the results are broken out into the high, medium, and low. According to this test, I do not have a high sensitivity to any foods, which is good, which sounds good. I have a mild sensitivity to 14 ingredients or foods, class 1 foods. They create a smaller immune reaction, but they can be sneaky symptom causers. Black tea, Brazil nut, chicken, cloves, eggplant, garlic, gluten, marjoram, rye, spelt, sunflower seed, thyme, vanilla, and wheat. Very, very interesting. Some definitely some interesting ones here. Chicken, I am like at the very, very normal reactivity is 17 and mild reactivity is 19. So like some of these I'm taking with a grain of salt. Like if they're very, very close to the normal reactivity, I am not really paying attention to them, but they're all like pretty much in the same. The only one that's pretty wild, vanilla, my reactivity is a 49, which is 9 points away from a moderate reactivity, and sunflower seeds I'm a 42, which is not too far from moderate reactivity. I'm not too sure like why vanilla or sunflower seeds. I've eaten sunflower seeds many a time before. I have obviously had vanilla flavored things, and obviously vanilla flavored things and vanilla itself can be a little bit different. But these are definitely interesting. I've always like I've hypothesized that I have a gluten intolerance. This basically just says that my gluten and my reactivity to gluten is an 18. A normal reactivity, like I said before, is 17. So I guess maybe I didn't actually have one. But for wheat, it's a 29 as opposed to a normal reactivity of 17. So basically what I'm hearing is that like I'll feel it stir up in my stomach, but like there won't be anything serious about it. It does note in the results though that this test, like for gluten and for wheat, is it tests for a different reaction than celiac disease. So I'm not sure what exactly that means in terms of like next steps. But with all that being said, and as we've gone through all the results, the development that I was speaking of before, and why I decided to film this video almost a year later, is because in last year, December 2021, I was having some pain in my stomach, just like up and down like the middle line of my stomach. And so I went to the doctor. They did this infection test, and I ended up having this infection called H. pylori. And that's like, I had to take all this medicine, and like I said, I have a lot of trouble popping pills, and I have to pop like 4 pills a day. It was actually insane. But H. pylori is a common indicator or precursor for celiacs. So my doctor at the same time did a celiac test, and it actually turns out that I do have celiac disease. And not only did I find out that I had celiacs, but this came as less of a surprise that I'm lactose intolerant. Many Black people are lactose intolerant. Both of my parents are lactose intolerant. I knew that was coming, but still a good to know, like for sure, through some blood tests and stuff like that. I did tell my doctor that I had taken these tests, and that they said that I had an abnormal reaction to gluten, but that it wasn't actually celiacs, and how it was a different test than a celiac test is. And when I tell you, she literally said, like, those tests are a waste of time. Go see a doctor. And in hindsight, I am glad that I took the tests, but it was definitely a waste of time. I guess, what are you doing, dude? Would I do it again? Probably not. I was hoping to get an understanding of what was going on in my body, and really all the results did was confuse me even more. And I hate going to the doctor, and I tried to avoid it at all costs. But for things like this, they are the better option. They are the best case scenario for you, and they'll be able to like really identify what's specific to you and not give you vague results, and not like give you something very actionable. You'll understand exactly what's going on, what the symptoms are, what to keep an eye out for, what to avoid, and then your life will just incrementally get better from there. So that's my take on it. Definitely to each their own, and I think like everybody says this on YouTube, but like doesn't mean that if you had a great experience, then you had a great experience. I didn't have a bad experience. I just had an experience that wasn't as helpful for me. And in the end, the doctor was the best option, and the best avenue for me. But so thank you so much for watching. If you are curious, I did leave the links for Everlywell and Viome in the bio, so you can definitely check those out and see how they help you, and see if you want to try out those tests. I'm sure there are other videos on the internet. Like, people are all about that life. So I will see you guys on the flip side.